Alright, first off, let me just say that this movie isn't all that bad. Entirely. I have my nitpicks and I will get into them. But for the most part, really enjoyed this movie. You know what? I'll give it like an B plus, A minus. It's actually not really that bad. But I'll talk about all that nonsense later. For now, let's get into the plot, because that is probably the most important thing. So, if you guys remember Spider-Man, the second one, something, home, something, where he fought Mysterio, at the end, Mysterio was like, yo, guys, Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Okay, peace out, I'm dead, and leaves. So, this movie picks up right after that, and everybody's freaking out that, oh crap, it's me, it's Peter Parker, whatever. And then everybody starts to condemn him, like, immediately. It doesn't matter that this man just, like, I don't know, saved the whole world with the Avengers. Nah, that doesn't matter. He's a kid, so, let's all gang up on him. And, yeah, it's kind of a crap show at this point. But, Matt Murdock, your boy Daredevil, shows up and he's just like, yo, guys, chill out. And everybody's like, yeah, you're right. And this has a bad effect on Peter and his friends' lives. Like, they aren't able to get into MIT.
Oh, no. Anyway.
So Peter goes to Doctor Strange and he's just like, yo, fam, help me out. And Doctor Strange is like, I got you, fam. But then Wong is like, yo, don't do it. And then leaves. Like, bro, you don't want to maybe stay and make sure that nothing happens? But you know what? Doctor Strange is a dick and proceeds to do the spell anyway. But then Peter's like, maybe this wasn't such a good idea, and tries to stop it. But then, the spell goes haywire. And then bing, bada, boom, we got the Sinister Six. So Peter, being the dumbass he is, goes back to MIT and he's like, yo, guys, so you don't know who I am anymore. I'm not Spider-Man. Can you accept us into the university? But then suddenly Doc Ock is like, starts causing a whole bunch of crap to explode. And then Spider-Man goes to battle him in the Iron Man suit and gets his ass beat. And so the nanotechnology starts to like infuse itself into Doc Ock's arms, which is weird. Anyway, then Doc Ock realizes that he's not Tobey Maguire and stops attacking him. Anyway, Doc Ock is eventually captured and thrown into jail. And then Peter goes with his friends to go and confront Electro. Right, Electro, with the help of Sandman, because they're homies, apparently. I don't know. Anyway, so they manage to capture Electro, but then Sandman is suddenly like, haha, I'm evil, bitch. Surprise. I don't really get Sandman in this movie. He's like, he switches sides for no reason. He's weird. So eventually, all of the villains are captured. Now this is where the movie gets extremely weird and stupid, because Doctor Strange is like, yo, we gotta send them back. They all need to die. They're villains. And then Peter's like, oh no, we can't do that. We gotta save them for some reason because I care. And then he proceeds to fight Doctor Strange. What the hell is happening? Peter, are you a dumbass? Answer, yes, he is. So eventually he gets this like cube thing from Doctor Strange and then locks him into the mirror dimension because reasons. And then they go into like Happy's apartment just to hang out. However, this is where the greatest character in this movie comes back in. Your boy Willem Dafoe, aka the Green Goblin. Oh my goodness, my boy is back. Anyway, so first off, Octavius gets cured because he gets a chip stuck into his neck or something. Anyway, and then Green Goblin's like, ah, surprise, bitch, I'm back. And then he proceeds to kill Aunt May.
Oh no. Anyway.
So then, can't believe I'm saying this, but Ned and MJ proceed to use magic to summon ya boys, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire from the other universes. Hell yeah, baby. Although I am very disappointed that Tobey Maguire didn't just come out of the portal doing this.
We don't really talk about this.
So the three Spider-Men get together and Tom Holland is like, where my aunt died, where is so sad? And then the other two are just like, bro, get over it. Like, my girlfriend died. My, like, half of the universe died. So, it's all good, bro. People die. Get over it. And Peter's like, yeah, you guys are right. And then they go off to fight some villains all together. And it's pretty epic, I won't lie. And eventually they kick all their asses and manage to cure them. So then Tom Holland wants revenge. So he tries to go and kill your boy, the Green Goblin, which is kind of sad because he's the best character in the movie. But then Tobey Maguire shows up and he's like, bro, chill out. And then Tom Holland's just like, yeah, you're right. So then they inject him with like the Goblin Cure or whatever the hell was happening. doesn't turn him into a complete ghoul like it did in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. And everybody's hunky-dory, bing bada boom. And then Osborn, he's just like, oh, he's so sad. I'm sorry I killed your aunt. I stabbed her in the face. I'm so sorry. And then Tom Holland's just like, it's all good, bro. So then they send them all back to their own universes to live or die or chill out, presumably. I'm not sure what happened to them. Anyway, so everything's hunky-dory. And then Doctor Strange casts the spell for real, and everybody forgets that Peter is Spider-Man. Even his homies like Ned and MJ. And, everybody's super sad that May is dead. And then Happy shows up. He's like, I'm so sad. I don't got a girlfriend no more. And Peter's just like, I know, bro. He's so sad. So, yeah. And then the post-credit scene, which is Venom shows up. And turns out that he's from another universe. And then he just goes back, which is kind of a bastard-ass teaser to make. I'm not going to lie. Because if you guys didn't know, in the second Venom movie, it showed Tom Holland. And everybody got all excited. Oh, they're gonna cross over, but now that's not a possibility anymore. Kind of a dick move, but it is what it is. Alright, so let's talk about performances and characters for now. So, by far, the best character in the movie is Willem Dafoe because, my boy is back. He's one of my favorite movie villains of all time, I swear. If you guys don't know, please go watch the very first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire because that man is amazing. And he is basically the same here. He is having so much fun chewing the scenery. And also Doc Ock's pretty good. Electro also gets his own arc where he gets sort of redeemed. He and Andrew Garfield just sort of become homies. So, yay. The two useless ones are probably the Lizard and Sandman because Sandman just flip-flops all over the place. I don't know what he was doing in this movie. And Lizard just doesn't do anything until like the last, fourth of the movie. So he's basically useless. He gets his ass beat by Doctor Strange off screen, so why is he even here? So, I figured this out about it myself, but I think I hate every single love interest of Peter Parker. I swear, like in all of these movies. I hated MJ from the Tobey Maguire universe because she's just terrible in every single way. I thought that Andrew Garfield and Gwen Stacy were just like the absolute worst lovey-dovey couple of all time, and I pretty much hate this MJ as well. Like, I hate all of them. So, I don't know what that says about me. My feelings haven't changed. I hated her. There's a scene where Zendaya almost falls off a building and dies, and that's the best scene in the movie until Andrew Garfield is just like, haha, psych, and saves her. You couldn't just let her die. Please, just for me, please just throw her off a cliff or something. I hate her. Anyway, Ned is fine. Ned is cool. He can leave with Ned. However, there is a thing that I hate about these movies, and that is the fact that freaking Tom Holland is still in freaking high school. It's been like 8 years, for crap's sake. Move on. I really hate when Spider-Man is in high school. I'm sorry, that is the worst. He's been in high school all these 3 franchises, and I'm really tired of it. Like, Spider-Man PS4 had it right. Just do that. Just set him out into the world to do his own thing. Don't stop putting him in high school. It's stupid. Just move on. So, also, this is a very weird issue to have, especially for a Marvel movie, but, why does it look so bad? And I'll talk about, like, primarily CGI and the de-aging effects because, they do not look that good. I mean, maybe it's because of the pandemic or something, but guys, you probably should have worked on it a little bit more because there are some scenes I was looking at it like, especially in like the mirror dimension stuff that was happening. Everything felt so rubbery and just, everybody was stretching all weird. I don't know, it felt fake. Also, before I forget, Peter is a complete dumbass in this movie. He makes very, very illogical like moves throughout this whole movie. Is just, what is happening half the time in this boy's head? I just cannot figure it out. I know he's supposedly a teenager, and teenagers are dumb by nature, but still, like, come on, you should have more sense than this. Another criticism I have of this movie is that nothing is really much explained. What I mean by this is that these villains just sort of show up, like, you know, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Electro, the other two, and they don't get their own backstories. They don't really get much explained of anything. They just sort of show up and expect you to know who these people are already. And, you know, for new viewers, that might be a bit problematic. Now, for me, it's not a problem because I love me some Tobey Maguire. Those movies are amazing, and I don't care what anyone says. They're masterpieces, especially Spider-Man 3. But for people who don't know or aren't in the know, how are you gonna explain all this? Do you see my question? Like, I don't know, maybe they should have spent more time on this or had less villains? I don't know. It just felt like a weird juggling act. However, one thing that I do love about this movie is the fact that it's not just chock full of just a crap ton of MCU stuff like all over the place. Instead, it's mostly focused on Peter and his dumbass friends, but it's mostly like a self-contained story, and I like that. Also, another good thing is that I feel like they're finally moving away from this whole Iron Boy Spider-Man thing, because for the past 2 movies, Spider-Man movies, that was really freaking annoying. I'm serious, just Spider-Man should not be relying on just Iron Man crap all the time. I know that was sort of an arc thing that they did, but just sick of it. Just please move on. Which is sort of what they do in this movie, and I kind of enjoyed it. Keep going in that direction. Overall, I think that this movie is kind of a good conclusion to Tobey Maguire's and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, respectively, because it concludes their stories. I mean, Tobey's, like, all of his master villains survive. Like Green Goblin and Sandman and Otto Octavius. So, they're chilling, they're good, they're healed. So that's pretty good. So that's the conclusion to his story. Andrew, on the other hand, kind of gets over his loss of the blonde chick whose name I don't remember right now. Because in this one, he manages to save Mary Jane, and that sort of helps him get over his problems, so to speak. However, one thing that I do hope that they do in the future with these like Spider-Man films going forward is to have Peter accept more responsibility for his actions. Here's exactly what I mean. In the past Spider-Man movies, he hasn't really done that. Like, he's messed up a lot. But he hasn't really had any consequences for his actions like the other Spider-Man have had to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, there always feels like there's an out for him. You know what I mean? Even like last movie, we saw that everyone learned his identity, but immediately he just goes to Doctor Strange. He's like, yo, can you like erase everybody's memories? And Doctor Strange is like, yeah, sure, no problem. And that sort of feels wrong. Like, they shouldn't be able to do that. They should have him deal with his own consequences, because so far he hasn't had to do anything of the sort. And he probably should, because that's Spider-Man's whole thing, is with responsibility, like they did in the Tobey Maguire films. But maybe that's just me, maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, maybe I have nostalgia, who knows? Also, I kind of think that this movie kind of relies very heavily on you having nostalgia for these older films, because if you don't, I mean, I don't know. Also, there's like a crap ton of fan service in this film. Like, if you know these older films, you'll be like over the moon. But if you don't, I don't know how well this movie will go for you. I mean, I don't know. Overall, I think it's a pretty good film, although I do have my problems with it, like this evidenced by this video. But, overall, I'd say go see it. It's a fun time, most of it. Although, if you don't know these like older Spider-Man films, I don't know how well it'll translate, if you know what I mean, because they don't really give you any sort of backstory. But, overall, good movie. Watch it. It'll be fun. So far, I'm peacing out. Bye.